Shashi Tharoor as Global Diplomat. Shashi Tharoor's United Nations career began in May 1978 when he joined the staff of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees at their Geneva headquarters. He was 22 and held a doctorate already in international law and diplomacy. In just 3 years, Tharoor rose to the position of head of the UNHCR office in Singapore. At the peak of the Vietnamese boat people crisis, he led the UN's efforts to help refugees rescued at sea and defuse politically sensitive crises involving asylum seekers of other nationalities in Singapore. Tharoor then returned to Geneva and became the first chairman of the staff elected by UNHCR personnel worldwide. In 1989, he was appointed Special Assistant to the Under-Secretary General for Special Political Affairs, the unit that later became the Peacekeeping Operations Department in New York. Until 1996, Tharoor led the team responsible for peacekeeping operations in the former Yugoslavia. Tharoor has said that he never thought of his work at the United Nations during this time as a job. It has always been a cause. My motivation has been to try and make a difference. In 1996, Tharoor was appointed Director of Communications and Special Projects and Executive Assistant to Secretary General Kofi Annan. In 1998, the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, named him a Global Leader of Tomorrow. In 2001, Tharoor was appointed interim head of the Department of Public Information and was subsequently confirmed as the Under-Secretary General for Communications and Public Information. In this capacity, he was responsible for the United Nations Communications Strategy and for enhancing the image and effectiveness of the organization, which he has described as representing the vision and foresight of the leaders of the world who wanted to make the second half of the 20th century better than the first. During his tenure at DPI, Tharoor reformed the department and undertook a number of initiatives, ranging from the first ever UN seminars on anti-Semitism and Islamophobia to the launching of an annual list of 10 underreported stories the world ought to know about. In 2006, the Government of India nominated Tharoor for the post of UN Secretary General. He had previously won the government's highest honour for non-resident Indians, the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman, for his contributions to the world of global diplomacy. Had Tharoor won the post of Secretary General, the 50-year-old Shashi Tharoor would have become the second youngest Secretary General after the 46-year-old Dag Hammarskjöld. However, Tharoor finished second behind Ban Ki-moon of South Korea in each of the 4 straw polls conducted by the UN Security Council. In the final round of voting, the United States vetoed Tharoor's candidacy. US Ambassador John Bolton later revealed his instructions from Condoleezza Rice. "We don't want a strong Secretary General." Tharoor was identified with the independently minded Kofi Annan, and a senior American official told Tharoor that the US was determined to have no more Kofis. After the vote, Tharoor withdrew his candidacy and declined Ban Ki-moon's invitation to stay on at the United Nations. Reflecting on the organization in which he spent almost 3 decades, Tharoor says this: "The UN is a mirror of our world, reflecting our disagreements and inequalities, as well as our hopes for a better planet. I believe that for all its limitations, it has done well enough to be worth preserving and reforming. I was glad to have spent 29 years in its service."